There is a lot of things going on. There is a lot of things that are going to happen, and how brands are going to continue innovating on NFTs, communities, Web3.
On the show with me today, we have a special guest, Jorge Carrasco, an emerging technology expert with over 15 years of international experience across Europe and the Middle East. His expertise lies in B2B and B2B2C projects. He has developed specialized digital solutions, value propositions, and service offerings to drive true digital transformation for all organizations of all sizes. Currently, Jorge focuses on all things blockchain and Web3. He is a prominent member of the Middle East blockchain community, leading the efforts in the space for a global consultancy firm. In addition to his technical abilities, Jorge is also a creative problem solver who enjoys being challenged. He is passionate about using new technology trends to create strategic business growth and translating that strategy into tangible results. His areas of interest include innovation, growth engines, finance, digital businesses, and strategic thinking. So Jorge, how are you today?
I am very good, thanks, Michael. Thank you for inviting me to the Actionable podcast. It's a great opportunity, and I'm really glad that I'm here.
We're very happy that you're with us today. I know that we'll be learning a lot from you and from your experience. To start things off, tell us a little bit about your journey and how you came to Dubai.
I've always had a very deep interest in technology. I studied telecommunications engineering, and that at that time I already realized that was what I liked, and all the technologies that were great at that time. Then I have always been working on different technologies and different digital solutions, and I also realized that I liked the business part of it. So that's why I started jumping into strategy, digital solutions, service offerings, and all that. I worked a lot of years in the telco industry as a supplier or in telcos, and 7 years ago I had the opportunity to come to Dubai to work in the telco industry, but from a position where I was helping businesses and government in their adoption of new technologies. And with all what's going on in the last 4 years, I have had the luck to work on so many innovative technologies, blockchain as the main one of them, but also digital twins, artificial intelligence, 5G, edge computing, robotics, and that opens a lot your mind. That allows you to think how all these companies can use this technology. And I'm so glad that all that is happening in the UAE, because in the UAE is where the government, the companies, the international community is coming to innovate here. And that is giving me a great opportunity to participate in great initiatives, in great projects, and to grow much more.
We are seeing companies struggle after the turmoil of 2022. Do you think the crypto winter is here to stay?
I don't think so, Michael. So the crypto winter has happened because many companies are currently innovating, are currently exploring unexplored territories, and that of course have come with their own challenges and issues. Now the turmoil has especially affected to cryptocurrency companies, and cryptocurrency is one of the use cases for blockchain, but blockchain is much bigger than that, right? So the blockchain is becoming a foundational technology for many use cases. As a technology, their promises and their vision is still remaining. So I think the market has gone through a very healthy sanity check, and that's the turmoil, and that has, let's say, kept aside companies with less solid value propositions, less solid projects, and now the ones remaining are the ones that are more stable, solid, that are adding true value, and they are not directly tied to the hype of the cryptocurrencies of blockchain.
And this is probably, we're seeing the whole hype graph happening in front of us in this industry, right? So I guess now people have started losing trust in cryptocurrency, and companies now have to rebuild that trust, I guess, and prove that the use case of blockchain and cryptocurrency is actually applicable in today's world. What do you think companies need to do today to rebuild that trust?
Yeah, this is a very important question and something that the companies that are still in operation and the new companies that are coming need to take very, very seriously. So, in order to rebuild that trust, which is very important, otherwise investors, citizens will not put their money into tokens, projects, cryptocurrencies, exchanges, etc. In order to rebuild that trust, I think there are two important parts of that. One is building the trust on investing in these community projects, in these blockchain projects, cryptocurrencies, etc. And also building the trust on how those tokens are managed once you have put your money in them. So in order to tackle the first issue, the issue of the investment, especially cryptocurrency exchanges and companies or startups that are receiving money from investors, they need to be very, very transparent. They need to be very transparent in the sense of, okay, this is how are we going to keep your assets, this is how are we going to manage our funds, this is how are we going to manage our investments, and that needs to be crystal clear and even auditable and like seconded by even trusted third parties, right? And then the second thing is they need also to be transparent in terms of sharing the value of the projects. So a cryptocurrency or a token project cannot be just based on a leisure concept or just the hype, like we are releasing a new coin because we think that is going to be a new payment mechanism. No, it needs to come with true value, with true value propositions, so that people, when they read the prospect, because it's very important for people to do their own due diligence when they invest in this project, right? So when they do that due diligence, it needs to be clear that this project has a value. This project meets my investment requirements. I would like to put money on this because I believe in what these people are doing. And this needs to be very clear, and the value proposition needs to be very transparent.
Absolutely, absolutely. And in terms of how do you, as a technologist, how would you say the adoption of cryptocurrency in the financial world? Has it been met with some, tailwinds, headwinds? Is it struggling to transform this industry into cryptocurrency?
Definitely, it has a true potential to transform the entire financial industry. I mean, we are right now seeing more and more the paradigm of the decentralized finances, right? And how that has the potential to eliminate more traditional players. Like banks and financial regulators, etc. The traditional ecosystem is working on that, is creating regulations, is creating practices that will make the traditional world and the new decentralized world to coexist together. And banks are making efforts, first of all, to experiment with and implement actually the blockchain technology, first of all for backend processes and understand the technology, and then to understand the crypto ecosystem through investments that they make or through consortiums that they participate in. And slowly, and I think we will see some releases in 2023 of banks moving into the cryptocurrency world in terms of products that they release for their customers, in terms of investment products that are related with cryptocurrencies, ETFs, bonds, etc., etc. So it has true potential to transform the financial industry, and is already doing it, and the banks and the regulators are aware of it, and they are reacting to that, which is, I think, very good news.
From your opinion and your day-to-day life and expertise in this area, do you think that some companies will emerge stronger due to the current situation?
I believe there is a very good opportunity for many companies and certain parts of the ecosystem to grow stronger from this. So as any crisis, the crises are giving an immense opportunity for people to innovate, to create great and innovative solutions. And what I find ironic of the current situation and my line of thinking around this is that while the blockchain and decentralization starts from the vision of no need for third parties, the community is self-governed, everything is working on its own. That's why we have the idea of decentralized autonomous organizations and things like that. I believe that the companies that in the short term can grow stronger from this are exactly the companies that are bringing some sort of control or third-party trust to what is going on. Let me give you a couple of examples. So, for example, let's say that with all that happened, people is no longer or is not comfortable for the time being to keep their tokens or their assets managed by the crypto exchange that allows them to buy those assets, right? So now there are companies that are bringing third-party custodian services. So take your crypto, take your assets, and keep it with them because they are bringing more trust. So this is a third party that is controlling your assets, which goes a little bit against keeping your own finances and controlling your own finances. You are still giving a third party the control to that. And also another type of companies are all the ones that can provide a scrutiny or control on what crypto companies are doing, like companies like the ones that are providing asset tracing services or that can provide dashboards on how a particular blockchain is working. So all those type of initiatives, I think they will have a lot of adoption and there will be a lot of need for that so that people can have an oracle or can have a reference on how the businesses are doing and if they are doing right.
Fantastic. So more RegTech, less, yeah.
Yes, you can say so.
Okay. And would you say that has changed the investor appetite in the space more, or how is the investor appetite in this going to look like in 2023? I mean, are investors looking for a specific thing?
So in terms of the investors' appetite and investor situation, this is a double-sided sword. So in one side, it's natural to see investors keeping cash ready. So when the situation is more trustworthy or where they are more comfortable to allocate money into this industry. On the other side, the good thing that has happened is that some valuations have gone lower. And that has made some investments much more attractive because some companies were also, and startups were also affected by the situation. They are now open for merchant acquisitions, for different types of operations and transactions, right? So investors like VCs, family offices, investment funds have a very good opportunity to find, let's say, bargains or good projects that are not valuated as high as they were, for example, 1 year ago or 2 years ago, and have the opportunity to invest at low valuations and create a lot of worth and growth from those opportunities.
Okay, and where do you see the future trends of innovation coming from in 2023?
There is a lot of things going on. There is a lot of things that are going to happen, and I think we are going to see a lot of progress in how the financial institutions are going to adopt cryptocurrencies, are going to adopt blockchain, etc. That is going to be a very big trend. Another big trend is about how brands are going to continue innovating on NFTs, communities, Web3, how these brands are going to adopt the new paradigm of Web3. Another trend is going to be the decentralized autonomous organizations, not only for communities that are building from scratch, but also for traditional businesses that are going to join decentralized autonomous organizations because they want to explore if that is a better way to organize an industry ecosystem, a community of businesses that previously they were not finding the right way to talk to each other, to organize between themselves, and now thanks to DAOs, they are finding a new way to collaborate.
Fantastic. So, I mean, decentralizing a organization, does that mean maybe the decision process inside the organization will be done autonomously in some kind of way, or using, trust factors? Or
so decentralized autonomous organizations need a very intense and comprehensive thought process, especially at the beginning, because they are going to put together people that are going to govern on something that in principle they agree on, right? So, right. And that is going to govern in partially with the execution of software. So if certain conditions are met, the software tells the smart contract functionality running the decentralized autonomous organization is going to say what happens next. And what happens next, people that are part of the DAO need to agree on, right? So there is a lot of thought process and I would say design thinking at the beginning of creating a decentralized autonomous organization to make sure that later runs efficiently, everybody's happy. This is a self-governed situation where everybody adds value and receives the value out of it.
Right. I can see how that could require a lot of forward thinking ahead of time, especially if certain sales targets are met, conditions automatically apply. Same thing as performance-based KPIs are not met, other conditions could apply in that situation.
Yeah, exactly.
Should brands wait until digital assets become a little bit more mature before getting into the space?
No, not at all. So brands, I believe, they are in front of an opportunity of a generation. So I see the digital assets opportunity as the internet opportunity 20 years ago. So brands 20 years ago were coming from a situation where they had their physical stores and they had to attract the audience by bringing footfall to their locations, and then suddenly with the internet they could reach everyone, and with the e-commerce revolution they could suddenly deliver their products and their services worldwide to every place, right? Now we are going through another transformational technology for brands, which is the opportunity to digitalize their experiences, not just their products, but their experiences. Create digital communities around their products and around their services. Connect the audiences at a completely different level, thanks to the use of Web3 and connect everybody on a community, thanks to the use of NFTs, giving benefits and giving different perks to a token-gated community, and create experiences, start offering experiences that, thanks also to the growing adoption of metaverse, they will have different dimensions. They will happen not only in the physical world, but they will also happen in the virtual world. So I think brands right now are in front of a very sweet spot and immense opportunity.
So let's zoom into the UAE for a moment. His Highness Sheikh Mohammed announced the second metaverse strategy in November 2022. What do you think, what do you expect will happen in the UAE?
Yeah, United Arab Emirates is always, from my point of view, so bold in releasing all these programs and these statements and these objectives. So I would like to compare the Dubai metaverse strategy and what is going on right now with something that similarly happened in 2017 and 2018 with the UAE blockchain strategy and the Dubai blockchain strategy. So what they did back then was saying in 3-4 years we are going to meet these targets. They were giving very specific numeric targets and goals, like we are going to reduce by 50% the paperwork done by the government, we are going to reduce this number of hours in the processes that are involved in the government and with the companies, etc. And they have done something really similar here with the Dubai Metaverse strategy. What happened back then is that because of those clear targets and those clear deadlines, everybody was rowing in the same direction. It was like granting a city with the Olympics. So that city needs to make it happen, right? Everybody, all the businesses, all the government, all the stadium creation, etc., all that need to be ready for a particular date, right? And it happens. And typically cities show their wonders to the world when the time comes. So that happened with blockchain 3-4 years ago. And right now, I think that everything is taking the same direction. They have released a Dubai Metaverse strategy with very clear objectives. So they say that in 5 years, we need to have 5 times more companies. In 5 years, we need to have 40,000 virtual jobs. And in 5 years, the metaverse economy needs to contribute $4 billion to the Dubai economy. With those clear objectives, everybody can start thinking what they have to do to achieve collectively that vision, right? So we will see how different, starting with the Dubai government entities, they are right now thinking, okay, what can we do to contribute to that? How can we, in 5 years from now, say we did it? So we are going to see a lot of movement starting from the government in terms of their metaverse adoption, how they can create those virtual jobs, how they can generate value to the Dubai economy. And then what happens is that the private sector follows. The private sector starts going with the flow, and they start doing this. And this will position again Dubai and the UAE at the forefront of this technology.
Jorge, just a quick question. So from your experience as a technologist, do you think that companies anywhere in the world, whether metaverse, NFTs, or blockchain technology, don't have a Dubai strategy or UAE strategy? They're missing out?
Absolutely. So I work for a global firm, and I see what is going on in other parts of the world. I speak with a lot of people from the US, from Europe, from Asia Pacific, and really you see that things are really happening in this region and in the Middle East and in the UAE and in Dubai that are just in discussions in other regions of the world. That's why so many crypto businesses, blockchain companies are establishing their operations, their headquarters, their offices in the region, right? Because they see that if they come here, they are getting a lot of experience investing in businesses and helping those businesses, because investors, you have financial investors, but you have also investors that make your business grow, right? Right. And those you can find them in the region, because it's when they are going through the learning curve, where they are going through experiences that allow them to help better and help more to these businesses.
Fantastic. So Jorge, as companies move from Web 2 to Web 3, what does this mean for companies and brands?
So this is, as I mentioned, a transformational change for brands. Let's say, for example, how they manage user data. So in the current world, users are concerned about how their data is managed, how their data is controlled, how companies are making use of that data. A company moving to Web3, especially a customer-oriented company, can return that trust and say that, okay, you control your own data, you control your own personal identity and your own personal information. So that will bring much more trust and link and bond to the brands. Also, brands adopting Web3 means that they can also apply this to metaverse and bring communities to a decentralized experiences and decentralized world where all these new experiences for brands are happening. And another thing is about NFTs as well. So brands can leverage on Web3, blockchain, and NFTs to create all these amazing new experiences, communities, another level of membership on the benefits of that company and that company is giving.
There's an NFT physical store in Dubai Mall or Mall of the Emirates.
Yes, yes, there is one.
What's the story behind that?
It's very interesting. I think it helps a lot for people to know about NFTs, to understand what they are, to go through the journey. Like, this is a piece of art and it has a digital representation, and that digital representation can be tracked and traced and owned, and you can check all that against the blockchain, and then there is something that you can trade, but when you trade it, everybody can check that is owned by you. So I think having physical experiences attached to all these concepts will help on the educational part of that, will help the broader community, the broader population to understand more about these concepts, and that obviously will drive also more understanding and more adoption, a more conscious adoption of all these technologies.
So since you're demystifying NFTs for us, could you just explain what NFTs are? Are they JPEGs with monkeys on them?
No, not at all. So I think they got famous because of some projects that were showing images on different themes and different topics, but the non-fungible tokens are an ownership token, right? So that entitles the owner of that NFT to certain benefits. In the case of the images, the NFTs are saying, okay, this image authentically belongs to this person, and then you can give just value to that image and then pass that value when you trade the NFT. But the NFTs can have much more functionality on it. So for example, the owner of an NFT can belong to a community that, because of the rarity of the NFT or the characteristics of the NFT, it will get access to certain perks of that brand or perks of that community or experiences from that community, right? And only the people that have those NFTs will get access to these experiences. We have many car manufacturers that are issuing NFTs. So for example, when you buy one of these cars, and then you are part of the members community of that car manufacturer, right? And that car manufacturer typically will create experiences, driving lessons, community gatherings for people that like that brand and like that vision and like that concept, right? And if you hold the NFT, that will be an easy way to get access to those events. You go, they check, you hold the NFT, you are who you say you are, and then you get access to those benefits. Also, the functionality of the NFT. So the NFTs are like a revolution of a generation for artists, for example. Previously, you were selling your piece of art and then you were losing track of it. That's it. So the owner could exhibit it at their home or sell it to another family member or relative, or to whoever was willing to pay what they were asking for. But the artist didn't have any information, traceability, control on that, right? Now, thanks to the NFTs, if the artist is minting an NFT associated with that piece of art, he can benefit from the revaluation of that piece of art. He can benefit from the different transactions that are happening later on, because the NFT can have a functionality built on that every single transaction that happens, there is a fee that goes to the artist, for example, and that brings much more value, because it's not just when you sell the art, it's also what happened with that art afterwards.
Right. And just to rewind a bit here, to the way you've tied up the real world with the digital world, I like that. How if you buy a car brand, you get an NFT with that. I think also there's an application where it's the other way around. If you buy a physical product, you get a product that you can use in the metaverse or something like that.
Absolutely. Well, the paintings are a very good example of this. We see how many people that are buying NFTs, they want to exhibit them digitally, and they have the physical copy of those arts, right? But you will not typically invite, for example, to your house to people from all over the world to see those pieces of art, but you can have a virtual gallery where you bring whoever wants to see that. And actually we see some real estate companies as well that they are selling the concept of, okay, you will buy your house, but then we will give you also a house in the metaverse that replicates your actual house. And in that house of the metaverse, instead of having the living room as you have in the real world, then that space will be a gallery. And in that gallery, you will be able to exhibit your NFTs. And also you will be able to create an experience around those NFTs. So we will see a lot of innovation and things going on, and just the imagination of the people will be the limit to what we will see.
And in terms of the metaverse, so what should we expect in 2023?
Look, the realization of the metaverse and the success of the metaverse depends on so many different things. Depends on the computing power to create all those experiences and to make them realistic and to make them useful for the people that access the metaverse. Requires the networking so that people have enough bandwidth to access those experiences, do not experience any glitches, lags, etc. They can connect with so many people at the same time and have a fluid experience. It also depends on the devices, how good the experience is on a 2D screen, or if there is more adoption on virtual reality headsets, and if that virtual reality experience is good enough. It also depends on how easy it is to access these metaverses. So do you need to create a wallet and then buy some tokens before you can get access to the metaverse? And to buy those tokens, you need to have a cryptocurrency exchange account before that. So that needs to evolve as well, right? In order to bring more people to the metaverse and let them experience more things into the metaverse and really see that happening. So different technologies, different initiatives will have to move in parallel to converge into something that make the adoption of the metaverse much more seamless, much more successful, much wider, right? But even so many things need to happen, we will see a lot more adoption of the metaverse because brands are creating experiences there, and the new generations, and actually also older generations, because if we see the gender and the age distribution of people that are using all these metaverses and the platforms, we see more and more older generations and more mature generations getting access to the metaverse. It's no longer just a thing of teenagers or people that the Gen Zs and digital natives, right? It's even more because brands are attracting people to the metaverse. So we will see a lot of things going on.
Fantastic. So what you're telling me is that the ecosystem is pretty much going to evolve until we are able to have and realize a full-scale metaverse.
Right. Yes.
So since this show is called Actionable, and I wanted to ask you if you could give our listeners some sort of actionable advice about, business in the UAE, technology in the UAE, anything that they can really take away.
Yeah. So in the UAE, there are so many things going on at the moment. So there are so many events that are happening, events that are focusing on investment in the space, events that are focused on consumer adoption in the space, events related with how this technology can contribute sustainability now that we are in the year of sustainability. So what I would invite the listeners is to look at the different occasions and opportunities that they have to know more about this technology, about what is going on, and try to attend some of these events to learn from the industry experts, to the companies that are going to the adoption. Also, for the listeners that are working on a company and they are thinking to innovate in this space, I would invite them to try to think what things can all these metaverse, Web3, NFTs can help them to achieve, and then try with the technology, because there is always a learning curve on anything, right? And so the same way that as a user, the only way you can start enjoying all these things is to jump in and to get some tokens, to create your own wallet, and that wallet gives you access to other experiences, metaverses, etc. But you need to start, right? So companies should do that as well. And in order to do that, a true recommendation is to trust on people that are already doing that. Trust on people that know how to recommend them what to do. Because there are so many experts and people that are commenting about this right now, because it's a very hot topic, right? But you need to rely on people that are working in the field, rely on people that have already helped others in order to achieve what you're trying to achieve and really engage in the right way with all these technologies.
Great. So to conclude our interview today, I wanted to say thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
It was a privilege having you. I know I've learned a lot from you, and I'm sure all of our listeners learned from your great experience and expertise. And thank you for joining us on this show today and tuning into Actionable. The journey continues, so please stay tuned with us until next week for another show.